Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have got a Children's Scares video, and this is goodbye recording from people who expected to die. We're gonna get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment what you think down below. Let's go.
I'm on my voice. It is now Sunday morning, and the snow has not let up. It's about 6.5 feet deep, I think. And I'm held up here in the Jeep. I just want to come home.
This is the video of 46-year-old Paula Lane, recorded for her mother and 11-year-old twin boys, days after being stranded in the middle of nowhere from an intense snowstorm. Her situation was extremely dire, to the point where she could lose her life at any moment, and this recording was her way of leaving a final message to her family, something she never expected she'd have to do. Things started off quite normal on November 29, 2012, when Paula and her 44-year-old boyfriend Roderick Clifton were staying at his mother's house in Citrus Heights, California. Paula's mother had invited the two for dinner that day, so to pack their stuff and begin over a 100-mile or 160-kilometer journey to her place in Gardnerville, Nevada. The route went through the mountains, and because of this, they made a couple stops along the way to admire the views. But even with these breaks, they were still on pace to reach their destination long before dinner. So with some time to spare, Rod decided to go on a brief detour. Instead of continuing on the highway, they got on the road leading to Burnside Lake, and that's when they ran into the first hurdle of this trip, a roadblock. The path to Burnside Lake was closed off by a gate, as well as a thick sheet of ice. It had been long closed for the season. Rod was intimately familiar with the path ahead, since the couple often camped at Burnside Lake with their kids in summertime. Plus, he also wanted to test the off-roading snow capabilities of his new Jeep. So he
Okay, well that's an idiot move. Don't do that. Don't ever just go randomly in the middle of a bad storm and just be like, I'm gonna test out how far I can go out off-road. Yeah, and then you won't be able to come back off-road.
chose to ignore the gate and drove around it, a decision he would sadly come to regret not long after. Things went smoothly at first, allowing them to reach the lake at around 7 p.m. Unfortunately, the snow near the lake was deeper and softer than they expected, resulting in Jeep's front left tire getting stuck as they were turning around to leave. The two tried everything in their power to free it for multiple hours, but were completely unsuccessful, and that was only the beginning of their troubles. Things went from bad to worse, and the temperature started dropping rapidly, which the two weren't prepared for at all. It was around 60 degrees Fahrenheit or about 15 Celsius. They left earlier that day, so they were wearing fall clothes with jeans and light jackets. They also had no plans of camping, so they didn't have any food or fresh water. To top it all off, there was no cell service in the area either, preventing them from calling for help. With no other options, they decided to spend the night huddled in the Jeep and wait out the bad weather. Unfortunately, that region experienced an intense snowstorm that night, making their already dire situation even more critical. After trying and failing to free the Jeep once again on November 30th, Rod decided to go look for help on foot instead. It was nearly a 6-mile or about 9.
Yeah, he's dead.
6-kilometer drive to the highway. The snow was also waist deep in some sections of the path, so Rod put on his made warm clothes as he could, read his shoes in plastic bags to avoid getting them wet in the snow, and promised Paula that he'd be back with help in a few hours. Sadly, he did not come back. Back in the Jeep, Paula's situation wasn't very good either. In addition to being worried about Rod, she also had almost nothing to keep herself alive. The only food in the vehicle was a small bag of fresh tomatoes Rod's mother had given them before they departed. Over the next couple of days, Paula survived by eating 1 or 2 tomatoes a day, eating snow for hydration, and wrapping herself in as many clothes and blankets as she could find in the car. Unfortunately, the weather wasn't letting up one bit, causing her to slowly lose any hope of survival, and eventually used the remaining battery on her camera to record this message to her family on December 1st.
I'm on my voice. It's now Sunday morning, and the snow has not let up. It's about 6.5 feet deep, I think. And I'm held up here in the Jeep. I'm eating a green tomato a day. I'm eating as much snow as I can remember to. I'm trying to stay warm. I just want to go home. Go on the Sunday morning. Today's Sunday. Not Friday morning. I'm opening my bag. I don't know what happened to myself. God, I can tell you front bike. Or some kind of run. And I can't walk out because I don't have any clothing. I just want to see my babies. I'm so sorry. This is happening. But as soon as the sun comes out, I'm going to have to make it to 7 miles. 60 miles. I'm going to go over. Nobody's ever going to find me here for my next.
Luckily, the storm subsided on the morning of December 2nd, giving Paula the will to save herself in this situation. So she packed a backpack with essentials like scissors, a flashlight, made makeshift gloves and socks with masking tape and tissue, and set out to find help on her own. However, the way back was even more challenging than she could have imagined. She was taking into the snow with every step, forcing her to crawl in the snow to help her backpack instead. However, her body was already incredibly weak from the days of near starvation and cold exposure, and crawling through snow only made things worse. Hours into her trek, she was already beginning to lose feeling in her hands and feet. She was also coughing up blood, struggling to stay conscious. And if all that wasn't bad enough, the snowstorm came back as well, forcing Paula to take shelter in a fire-infested hollow tree on the ground. She spent 2 more nights in that tree, trying to recover enough strength to continue making her way back. Unfortunately, she already run out of tomatoes, which were her only food source, and was barely alive at this point. By on December 5th, 6 days after the couple was stranded in the woods, Paula made a final ditch effort to save herself. She left the hollow tree and began crawling with all she had left, and that's when she made a devastating discovery. Not far from the tree, she came across the remains of Rod covered in snow.
Oh my. So while crawling back, she found his body.
He developed hypothermia and passed away hours after leaving to get help. However, as heartbreaking as the discovery was, it also served as a motivator for Paula, giving her the courage to continue crawling forward so she didn't meet the same fate. Now, important to note here is that the rescue efforts to find Paula and Rod had begun the night they disappeared. But since they didn't tell anyone about the detour to the lake, no one knew exactly where to look for them along the 100-plus mile long path they could have taken. The harsh weather also made it possible to search for them via helicopter. Fortunately, Paula's brother, Gary, knew about the previous summer visits to the lake, so on the 5th of December, he made to check out the lake area by himself, and after 6 long days, finally found his sister crawling on the boat while on the verge of losing her life. It was starting to rain, and she was more than likely passed away from hypothermia and exhaustion, and Gary had found her even 15 minutes later. Luckily, he spotted her in time and rushed her to a nearby hospital where she was treated for first-degree frostbite. Paula has since been Florida.
That is insane. This woman that's some superhero-ass shit. This woman has some superhero-esque survival instincts. How on earth do you survive for what, 6 days? I think it was 6 days and that? Maybe even long, maybe over a week? In snow and shit? That's some superhero-ass shit, I'm telling you. Something was keeping her alive. I don't know what it was, but something was. Might have been the kids, but something was keeping her alive. God damn. Hold on, I gotta go back. I got distracted by an email, sorry. I'm gonna go back to here.
Recovery and is now living with her family and children. On the morning of October 15, 2016, 41-year-old Kevin Diepenbrock went on a scenic bike ride with his close friend and coworker Philip Polito. The plan was to ride across the Dragon, an 11-mile stretch of Route 129 near the Tennessee-North Carolina border that's 200 kilometers away. The Boeing 737 planes took off at around 10:40 p.m. and they were estimated at first. By then, at 11:03 a.m., the 2 minutes in the flight, the left engine failed with a violent explosion 32,000 feet or 9,800 meters in the air. Shrapnel from this explosion hit cabin, cracking all the windows. The sudden drop in pressure forced one of the passengers, 43-year-old Jennifer Wyman, partially out of the broken window. Once outside, she was struck by more shrapnel from the engine and tragically passed away. However, Jennifer's passing was only the beginning of the issue at hand. Between the exploded engine and the depressurized cabin, a crash was inevitable, which resulted in loss of most, if not all, lives aboard that plane. One of the passengers, Marty Martinez, feared this as well. What he think about was the family he was about to leave behind, especially his wife and his unborn son. So, in a moment of desperation, Marty took out his wallet and used his credit card to purchase the on-flight Wi-Fi as the plane was going down. He then used this very functioning internet connection to start a live stream on Facebook, so his friends and family could see him one last time. The stream was titled, "Something is wrong with our plane. If you're going down, emergency landing, Southwest flight from New York City to Dallas." It showed the entire cabin in entertainment, so that every passenger scrambled to put on their oxygen mask. Passengers panicked and screamed could also be heard in the background of his choppy stream. And while Marty didn't say anything on the stream to the oxygen mask, he did send a message to his loved ones, telling them, writing, "I want you to know that I love you all and thank you for all you've done. I'm so sorry, your plane's going down. I love you guys." He later explained why he said in during the interview, stating, "I literally bought Wi-Fi as the plane was going down, so I feel the people I love, to be my final moments on Earth, and to put in position that will prioritize people I love and send my final words is an absolutely touching feeling. So I thought that Facebook would like my experience, sending this from my last communication with the people I loved and my team back home. All I was thinking about was telling my parents that I loved them. I feel like I minutes left. I was bracing for an explosion." And his fear was completely justified. This wasn't a case of the engine temporarily stalling or experiencing some small issues. The plane had suffered a catastrophic failure, and there was nothing the pilots or the air traffic control could do to fix it 10,000 feet in the air. Later investigation revealed that one of the fan blades and left engine had been plugging an extremely small fatigue crack over the past few years. This blade and the engine as a whole checked regularly for any damage. But the method they were using was precise enough to detect this nearly invisible crack, which was a critical problem. Each of these fan blades weighs up to 11 pounds and nearly 50 kilograms, and anywhere between 300 and 300 RPM during normal operation. At those speeds, even a microscopic imperfection can compromise the blades and vice section the engine's structural integrity. And that's exactly what happened with Flight 13A. The blade with small fatigue crack finally reached its breaking point. It tore off mid-flight and struck the rest of the engine at an insane speed, triggering a shockwave that caused the entire unit to fail in a single instant. Fortunately, the explosion marked the breaking point never happened. Damage to the engine allowed pilots to obtain partial control of the plane. We were also very close to the Philadelphia International Airport when the issue occurred, enabling them to perform an emergency landing and preventing further casualties, giving Arya and all their passengers and crew members a sanctified life.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what you thought of this insane final videos from people who thought they were going to die. Let me know what you think of them in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment things down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for the next one. Canoles. Chris, out of my mind, I've been mistaken and taken for granted. That I come my mind, now that I'm built and I'm burnt. What's super? Because you spent 6 fucking days with no food. Fucking tomatoes. Curses from daddy and mama, hovering lies of good time. This with the picture in the cloud in my mind. We've been mistaken and taken for granted and lost. And there I come on, now that I've built it and I've burnt it. And I burn all the bitches I've behind because I'm the man I used to be.